The 4-Hour Body is the best-selling book that is quickly becoming a national phenomenon because it shows you how 4 hours is all the time it takes to change your entire life. So here to show you why is the book's author, Timothy Ferriss. Hey, Timothy, how are you?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Okay, now, in the book, you talk about the biggest changes. I mean, little changes can make a big impact on your life, and 4 hours can create a whole new you. Okay, can you tell us about that?
Right. So what we noticed, we did tests for 3 years with world-class scientists, Olympic coaches, doctors, and we found that big changes or too many changes just fails a lot of the time. So really small changes consistently produces big results.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, so now we're gonna take a look at what people should be doing during this first hour, during the 4 hours. So the first hour, I gotta get this right. You said you think the focus should be on sex and fertility. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
So the first is sex, very important. Good sex is a huge part of good health.
Okay.
And 50% of women specifically have never experienced an orgasm. This is a big problem.
Oh, wow.
And in the course of research, we discovered 2 things, and it was all put into 2 chapters called the 15-minute female orgasm. So I'm going to get a little explicit here. It's important.
All right.
First of all, men are pretty clumsy animals, myself included, but we're teachable.
Yes.
So here's what we discovered. If this is the vagina, at the top you have the clitoris. Let's say 12 noon is the top of the clitoris. Okay, at 1 to 1:30.
You keeping track of the time, Barbara? Okay, so 12.
Yep, at between 1 and 1:30 is where 90% plus of women will be most sensitive. So just
Between 1 and
instruct your guy
1:30.
at the top right, have him focus there so he's not stumbling around blindfolded.
Between 1 and 1:30.
That's right.
Tell him that. Okay, got that. Okay, so
the next point would be fertility, and what we found with many case studies was people, specifically women, could go from miscarriage to pregnancy by eliminating gluten. So removing cereals,
Elizabeth
breads.
did that. She eliminated gluten and she got
Which
pregnant.
is wheat and barley, right?
Yeah, huge impact. Any
Okay.
type of grain like this, and a substitute would be
Really?
a meal like
You
this.
eliminate gluten and you are more fertile?
I was fertile as the
One eliminates gluten as well.
Absolutely.
I
We've
think-
seen a bunch of case studies, and the type of replacement would be something like this with protein, some type of legume or bean, and then vegetables. In my particular case, I had a few major improvements, and one was eating Brazil nuts after I had a test done with a lab called SpectraCell. They work with a lot of athletes. I had a selenium deficiency, started taking Brazil nuts, I tripled my testosterone.
Okay.
Which has huge effects on sex drive and quality of life. And I also actually increased my intake of quality fats.
This is for men to take.
This is for men. Right.
Okay.
So if you want your man to have a higher sex drive, cholesterol will increase testosterone production. Have him eat a few of these a few hours.
What do you give him if you want him to take the garbage out? That's what I.
You give him one of the books that were recommended earlier.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to hour 2. Now you say that you can improve sleep and you can also lose weight without exercise.
Right.
You got to tell me how this one works.
All right, I will. So starting at the beginning, when people feel fatigued in the morning, by measuring blood sugar, we realize that it's often not because they sleep too little, it's because they have low blood sugar. So you can have 2 tablespoons of almond butter before you go to bed.
Okay.
And very typically it
Take
improves
the almond butter before you go to bed to do what?
to stabilize your blood sugar so that when you wake up, you're not hypoglycemic.
Okay.
Okay.
This device right here, called the Night Wave, will actually project a glowing blue light on the ceiling that you time your breath with. And it's been clinically tested, and it knocks people out in about 7 minutes. It's very effective. And this is a lifelong insomniac.
So if you're an insomniac, that helps. Okay.
All right, this device right here, it's called the Zeo. And you actually wear this when you go to sleep, and it tracks your brain waves, and it will give you a score for the quality of your sleep and then suggest fixes for improving the quality.
Excuse me.
That's okay.
I mean,
so
I
it's
can
just
see the blue thing. What are you doing with this?
I want the blue thing. I have 3 kids that don't sleep.
Yeah, here.
Blue thing?
It's all yours.
Yeah.
Oh,
Almighty.
And you can travel with it.
Have
Yeah.
some almonds on. What is this? What is this
Almond butter.
thing that you have to wear at night?
Yeah, you just wear it like a headband.
Okay, you wear
And
like
it does
But
what?
it tracks your brainwaves and your sleep. So it tells you when you're sleeping, when you're not, when you fall asleep, and it
So you
provides
can kind of
suggestions.
put a
I
little
think
chart
that's more
together.
information than you need. Okay.
This may be too much of a headache for some people. You could just use this in the morning. This is called a Philips Go Light. This cut my time to sleep, meaning falling asleep in an hour, to less than 10 minutes. And you would simply set this to your side for 15 minutes in the morning.
Okay.
Very
All right.
effective.
So let's go to hour 3. Well, let's go to hour 3, because now on the 3rd hour over here, now you say we should focus on the health benefits of cold water, and it could reverse injuries.
Right, so I worked with a NASA scientist, and we tested cold showers, cold baths, even ice packs. And Ray, the scientist, tripled his rate of fat loss using some of these techniques. You just put it on the back of your neck for 30 minutes while you're watching television at night, and it causes a number of hormones to change. It
Really?
produces
And that
fat
can
loss,
reverse
yeah.
injuries.
Yep.
And that's swell. And the nice cold weather we're having. Should you take cold showers?
cold showers. I take ice baths, but not everyone would like to do that.
No,
You can also
Barbara.
use this from spending most of your time at the desk. Sitting is death, as one PT said it, and you can use this to stretch your upper back and reverse a lot of the chronic pain that comes from sitting. And then MSM and vitamin C, 10 to 20 grams per day, very helpful for reversing joint pain and joint damage. Particularly successful, I found, in knees.
In knees, reversing the
knees.
joint pain. Okay, now
Do
finally.
we all know what MSM is? I didn't. Everybody
MSM
know what it is? No.
MSM is methylsulfonylmethane. It was originally used with racehorses, where a lot of innovation comes from, but it's very helpful for regenerating connective tissue.
Got it.
So you take some of this and some of vitamin C.
Exactly.
And that for the knee pain. Okay, and so finally you say that during the 4th hour, we can do things to live a longer life.
Right. And these are rather counterintuitive. So one in particular, creatine monohydrate, which is popular with athletes, has been shown in research to help stave off the onset of Alzheimer's, other neurodegenerative diseases.
What is
Okay.
it? Creatine mono. I'm always afraid of taking things that haven't
This
really
is
been
naturally
tested.
present in muscle tissue, and
What
it's
is
been
it?
tested
Is it
for
a
about 20.
vitamin? Is it a grain? Is it a what?
It's used for increasing energy stores in the body. That's why athletes use it. But 5 grams a day can protect the brain. Is the upshot, and I think that's very important for extending functional lifespan. The second thing that you can
Wait,
do,
you put this in water? Do you just
I
eat
did
it?
that.
just mix it up.
Mix it up
Okay.
in water.
All
Okay.
right.
And
All
then
right.
the second, which is was free, is donating blood. And in fact, you find that one of the explanations for why women live longer than men is that men don't menstruate. So they accumulate toxic iron byproducts, among other things. So donating whole blood every 3 months is also very practical for extending lifespan.
Okay, wow, thank you. Now, before starting any health program, you should check with your doctor. Members of our studio audience are going home with a copy of The 4 Hour Body. We'll be right back.